Time for another review. This time we're looking at a Revel kit, specifically their 1/48 scale F-100 Super Saber. Let's get into it. Now, one thing I immediately noticed about this kit is that it's fairly heavy, as there's a lot of plastic on this particular sprue. It feels very hefty. As you can see, we have the two fuselage halves, an upper and a lower, that meet in the middle. Fins are molded on, which personally I don't care for, as it does make painting and such a little more difficult. What I do like is the fact that we're given two different exhaust styles. Mostly, I can't recall off the top of my head which is early and which is later, but the fact that we are given both is very nice. Again, as you can see here, a lot of detail in the landing gear bays and the air brake bay and gun bay, which is nice. The fact you don't see that as often as one would think, but it is nice to have that option right out of the box if you want to do such a scene. Excuse me. Moving on to the cockpit, detail is fairly small and minuscule. It's not very well done, but it is there. This is one area where the cockpit would benefit from being replaced, possibly with a resin example. Continuing on, we're given two figures, a pilot and a ground personnel. Why the pilot figure is not very well done, but the ground guy is and would be useful in any type of diorama situation. Another thing of note is that all of the detail on the fuselage is raised, so be aware of that. Now, another thing you can also tell is that there's a large amount of flashing, so be aware of that. That's going to need to be cleaned up. Continuing, we have our clear part. It's front windscreen, canopy, HUD, and two lights. Nicely done. No seam line down the middle. Always a good thing. Continuing on, we have stores and landing gear. Landing gear are nicely detailed. Very nicely done. Don't have much to say about them. We're given two external tanks, the leading edge flaps, two air-to-ground missiles, two Mark 82s with fuse extenders. Obviously, depending on the type of armament, you may need to source them from other kits and so forth. Here we have the wheels. The instrument panel's fairly decently done. Again, details could be sharper and crisper. A lot of detail on the pylons. A little surprised at how much detail there is. Moving on, again, gear bay doors, air brakes. Here we have the guns. Very nicely done. Some of the actuators are given a ladder, which is nice, again, for the diorama interested individual. And much like the two different exhaust, we are also given two different refueling options, which, again, very nice. Even though the kit does not specify markings for the other one, it is nice to have. Here we have the wings, much the same. Do like the fact that they put the copyright information stuff on a part that's not going to be seen. Here we've got the decal sheet, a lot of stencils, a couple different options. It's fairly well done, though some of the colors could be richer. They're a little sort of dark and not very vivid. Again, definitely an area they could have improved, but definitely more than passable. Now moving to the instruction sheet. This is a fairly thick sheet. I'm fairly impressed. Now, one interesting note, instead of giving you a view diagram of the trees, we're given a full itemized list of the different parts, which is definitely different. Like usual, assembly starts in the cockpit area. Very nicely laid out instructions, told all the different options and how to do each, as well as their painting. Again, as I said, that we're not told about the different exhaust options, but the fact that they included it in the kit is, as I said, nice. Again, moving on. Assembly details are very well and easy to understand. I mean, there's no real big surprises anywhere. And it's fairly straightforward build setup. And it looks the build up to a very nice kit. And as I said before, a couple different marking options for at least 2 different jets. Also given a very easy to understand layout for the stencil markings. Definitely a nicer Revel kit. I'm very pleased with how this kit came out. Now, I have not seen, I believe, Trumpeter's version of the F-100, as I know they have a couple different variants in this scale. But I do know it's a lot more expensive, as I got this for around 20 bucks. So definitely a well worth your money kit. I highly recommend it, especially if you're a fan of the aircraft of this particular period. You get a lot of bang for your buck. My only real complaint is the raised panel lines, but again, people can make arguments either way on that. I would definitely say don't let that keep you from getting this kit. It's a very nice kit. I mean, as I said, you get a lot of options. Only thing could be better is some of the details, but at the end of the day, it's definitely one to get. So that was Revel's 1/48 scale F-100 Super Saber. Very nice kit. Well worth your time and money if you decide to get it. So till next time.